This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with Vinyl Gentlemen. We're glad to say we're joined with Ireland's pound for pound king, Tyrone McKenna.
That's my full title nowadays. No one else talks to me other ways. Pound for pound king. What's the crack?
If pound for pound king's not in the title, you're not speaking. I think it's sort of become a new realm when we sort of do interviews. We get the peace sign before we start.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know.
It's like people getting pictures taken by a boxer and they're holding their fists up, and you're going, "Why are you holding your fists up?"
I refuse to do that. I don't do it. I don't know why people do it. It really confusing. See, to be honest, it's not even boxers either. It's like it's public come over this, and then they put their fists up, so you feel like you're obliged to put your fists up. But I don't do it. I don't. I just keep my fists down.
If they put the fists up,
my fists are only up when you want to pay me the money to put my fists up.
Oh, you're right. Obviously, the last time we spoke, we obviously had you in great spirits. So obviously, we're starting out with here again. Obviously, you know, I was 7 days out from the Turarov fight in Dubai on the undercard of Frampton Heron, and you know, I guess probably sometimes you look at boxing, people sometimes forget, you know, the pain and sacrifice and everything you go through. Like an 11-week camp for Turarov in Dubai, dream location, obviously, you know, fighting and obviously a history-making card, and you know, I guess I can sort of let you explain a bit more, but sort of, you know, cancelled fight, no fight purse, you know, a lot of wasted camp, sort of.
Well, I don't know if it was wasted, because if I hadn't had that camp, I'd have been sitting, eating shade and not really training and stuff like that. So at least, in one way, at least I had like a full camp where I did dedicate myself, I got a high level of fitness and my weight way down low when I was ready to fight. So in a way, although I didn't get the fight, I was fight ready, and I was easy to bounce back. But back from after the fight was cancelled, it was straight back in the camp. So I was in camp feeling good instead of 3 stone overweight and trying to get weight off. So in that way, it was good that I did get that kind of experience. But obviously, it's not ideal to wake up when you put in 11 weeks of training, 11 weeks away from being with the kids and the missus, and the money you spend in camp. It's quite an expensive thing to do, and then to get down the weight, to get down to 63.5, it's very hard for a man at 6'1". So I got down the weight, and then all the hard work was done. The sparring was done. The training was. I hate training. Like, I hate it. I hate that. And I hate everything that you probably do. Most boxers would hate the training and the diet and the struggling and the sacrifice, and then the enjoyable bit, which is a fight, which I was way up where I was ready for a war mentally. I was ready to go out there and have a tear up against Turarov, and then the morning of the fight for it to get cancelled, it was very, very deflating. I've said in a few interviews that I'd almost rather have got beat, because at least I would be able to have showcased what I put in 11 weeks, instead of just going home deflated and having a lot of what if, I don't know, would have won, would have not have won, what's going on in my career, because I haven't fought in a year now. But thankfully, as we've seen today, Turarov's been announced. I'm shocked that he came to Belfast. He accepted. But fair play to him, he's coming over to Belfast. He's coming over to Lansdowne, and he's going to get sparked out. And I can't fucking wait.
And I guess, you know, sort of when you look obviously back in the cancelled fight, the good thing is obviously with it being on home territory now, you know, he's coming into the Lansdowne.
See, over in Dubai, it sounds great. I was over in Dubai, I was on a car Frampton show and stuff, but there was no crowd. And when I went to the venue, it was good. Like, it's a history making night. Well, it was supposed to be a history making night and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm a fighter and needs a big crowd to push me, and that's called spade a spade. I fight with my face half the time, so I do get hurt sometimes, and I need the crowd to lift me during those tough times, and they always do. So in Dubai, I think Turarov made it. I wouldn't have got it. In Belfast, I'm going to get more of an edge because there's going to be a big crowd there supporting me and driving me on, and I think that's something I need in fights. And so, although Dubai, the dream location, was a great venue to be on or bill to be on, but I'm buzzing that it's on this Michael Conlan bill and it's in Falls Park in front of the fans. I haven't had that kind of experience in a year and a half since the Moon fight. So it's something that I'm choking for and I'm excited for.
And like I can't believe you've sort of you've let Mick and TJ be main event. You're the pound for pound king in Ireland, so did it take much persuasion for obviously let Mick to be main event?
I don't think there was any question, but look, TJ, he's former world champion, and it's not like he got handed a vacant belt or anything like that. He went over to Japan and he won that belt in a tough fight. So that just shows you the caliber he is. He worked the hard way to get that world title, and then McKenna, world amateur champion, it's an unbelievable pro. He's beat everyone in front of him. He's undefeated. He's a massive name in Ireland, not even Belfast, not even in Ireland, in the world of boxing. So for them two to fight each other, I think it's massive. And I've obviously I've known about that fight for a while, and I've been buzzing for it. I've been like, this is the most excited I've been for an All Ireland clash in a long time, and it's a great fight. I think it's a fight that McConnon can easily win. I think he's the far superior boxing skills, but TJ's no mug, and I think TJ will be training very hard. From the last fight he had was blood. What's it called? Blooded.
Aye, Blooded. I think it was just over this time last year. I think it was what, June of last year.
Yes.
So he's over a year out of the ring, and
from that he's going to be looking to prove himself, to get back on the big stage again. I mean, that was a shock, upset defeat, and he's going to want to come back and prove that he isn't out of the world contention mix. And this is a big step for Michael Conlan in his career, but I think it's that he's more than ready for it. And then once he wins this, I think he could shoot on to become world champion, which everyone predicts he's going to be.
And it's like, you wait so long sometimes for one, and it could potentially end up being, he could be fighting in a unification fight, 2 belts in the line. And I think it's Fulton, or I can't remember who it's Fulton. It's fighting Rodriguez, isn't it? Whoever it's fighting, there's 2 belts in the line. So when Mick obviously gets there for the WBO, and it's 2 belts.
Be lovely, eh?
It's like a bus. You wait long enough for 1 and 2 come at once, But I was sort of, I'd sort of said to Jamie yesterday, obviously before it was announced, that I sort of knew who the opponent was, and I think when you look at it and you're sort of being picky in a sort of way, the only thing that was missing from the fight was a world title. Conlan and TJ could easily have been for a world title.
Shandy, I don't know if people realize how big this fight is. Like, it's 2 Irish fighters. They're both world level. I mean, and neither are past their prime. The only one that could be past his prime is TJ, but he isn't past his prime. He's a real tough fight and a real good fighter. I think it's an unbelievable build-upper. I think it's one of the most exciting fights that's been in Belfast in a good way. Like, so I'm positive for it.
I can't wait either. Obviously, 18 months of not being able to go to a show. And I was sort of saying to you earlier, I'm going to bring a bottle with me to pee in, because you've been so long without boxing, you don't want to miss 1 second of it.
You don't miss nothing. I know, 100%.
Obviously, in your weight class, I guess it wouldn't be right to obviously have an interview with you and obviously think of Josh Taylor. Do you think of obviously what he's done in 18, 19 fights, undisputed, super lightweight world champion? I guess you're just going, hurry up and leave the division now.
Yeah. Look, he's done everything he can in the super in my division. He's unified the belts. There's only a handful of boxers that have ever done that, and he's one of them. And he's the GOAT of my division at the minute. And I think it makes sense for him to move up and have a massive super fight against the likes of Terence Crawford. But I even just to do that, I think it's less than 18 fights, but Like his last 5 opponents have been like 135 wins, 1 loss. Like
Crazy.
it's mental. It's mental what he's done and how good he is, and you gotta love him. He's a ballsy bastard. Like he went, he's always entertaining. He's always in entertaining fights. He's he's not one of them born boxers that just move and pick the rounds and steal rounds. He goes in, he has wars every single time, and I think every single fight I've with Josh Taylor I've enjoyed. So he deserves everything he's getting.
He's sort of like the mantle of yourself. You know, you obviously have renamed yourself War McKenna, and Josh Taylor's the same. He just wants to go and have a good fight.
He loves it.
There's no point having
He's
a bore fest running away. It's like just get in there and punch ahead of each other and wins.
He's a proud, crazy Scot. He loves scrapping, and you can see he loves scrapping. He looks like a nutcase. So I think that's just his mentality, and I have the same mentality. I just love getting in the wars, and I think as fighting in the field is going to be just what I want, another war.
Definitely, and obviously the good thing for that as well is it's the WBO Intercontinental title on the line as well, so it's going to get you back in the WBO rankings and hopefully high up the rankings where if the belts do become vacant, you could be in a position to challenge for it.
100%. About when I win this title, I'd put you on maybe more or less top 10, maybe top 5 in the WBO rankings, and with Josh Taylor possibly moving up and vacating a lot of belts, there's a lot of opportunities to fight for a vacant belt. The guy that Ritson fought a couple of weeks ago, what do you call him?
Ponce.
Jeremiah
or Jamia Ponce.
He's actually offered me a fight once or twice a year ago when I was already scheduled to fight O'Hara Davies. So I mean, if he obviously wanted to fight me at one stage, so I'm sure he still wants to fight me. Once I beat Turarov, then I can maybe try and get a fight with him. Perfect. And I think that'll be a serious war with him because he don't stop punching, I don't stop punching. It'll be a beautiful thing.
You probably need the referee in the middle to sort of break his up for a wee break every once in a while, you know.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you know, I guess when obviously you knew the sort of card and stuff was coming, you'd sort of made obviously a colleague to James Tennyson. It wasn't the fact that sort of was any disrespect. The two of you are local, and you just wanted a good tear up, you know, in the field. You wanted on the card, but you know your dreams have come true, and obviously getting the Turarov fight on the card. So maybe potentially down the line that could be something that could be done. Headline the field next year when you're still pound for pound king.
That's it. Obviously, I called out Tennyson and I mailed him and said, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful today. I just think it'd be a great fight. First big event in Belfast. How good it would be to two people from West Belfast fighting each other that are world level. So there wasn't no disrespect. I mean, he agreed. He was excited for it, but he was having a break at the time, and I think he's staying at lightweight anyway. But I think the Turarov fight is a better fight for my career. Maybe isn't as juicy in the eyes of the Belfast fight fans and Irish fight fans, but for my career, it's a much better fight. There's a big belt on the line. It shoots me way up the rankings. He's an undefeated fighter, so I think the Turarov fight is a better fight, but it's not as exciting sound as the Tennyson fight. But sure, as you say, the Tennyson fight can happen at a later date. I mean, he's only 26 or 27 or something, so 20 more years.
Plenty of time to come. Obviously, I want to touch on obviously another Belfast fighter who hasn't been announced on the show yet, but obviously the potential's there. And Sean, obviously linking back up you again down in Dublin. How great is obviously they have, you know, another maniac in the camp.
Yeah, we miss Sean. We miss Sean. He was away from us for about a year, but he's back. He's as mad as ever, and he brings a lot of crack to the complex. So, I mean, just camp's enjoyable. Sean McComb in it. He's a funny guy. He's unbelievable sparring for me as well. Like, so we're around the same weight, and so it's great sparring for me, and I learn a lot with Sean. He's very intelligent boxer, so it's great to have him back in that way as well. But even just day-to-day life of him, he's a great person to have around camp. So I'm delighted that he's down with us. And I think it suits him as well because he was over in Scotland. he was always away from his missus. Now he has a newborn baby. He's a gym that he's open as well. So it's good that he's in Ireland and he's going up and down whenever he needs to, or at the weekend to see his kids and stuff. So perfect. Suits everyone. Suits everyone. And he makes a mean cup of coffee in the morning.
Is he taking over from Tyrone now and obviously making
Yeah,
the breeze?
someone has to. Someone has to.
Obviously, Sean, after Sean's last fight, he done like a 7-day takeaway sort of challenge. Well, and I know you wanted to join him, and you were in camp the last time. So is it going to be like a tag team this time?
It could be a tag team one. He said he's going to do it again. So maybe we'll do a collaboration. Do the guy. We'll see.
Bring the pints involved as well. Obviously, you've still the kegs to drink as well.
That's it. We'll rate the chicken wings and rate the Guinness and see what the crack is.
It definitely is. Obviously, another man in the camp. He's got a crazy fight, and obviously, I think there's going to be plenty of needle. As obviously, you always love the needle. Tommy's obviously fighting Chris Smith in fight camp. Obviously, the ticket prices are very crazy for. I think it's like 750 quid. So he'd be sort of carrying Tommy's suitcase for that one.
I would, but it's a week before
it's a week before your fight.
I'm raging. See, it was a week after. It was like, if it was a week after, it'd have been straight there. But a week before, there's no way it could be here. But what a show to be on. It sounds like it's going to be a great day. Free beer, free food, kind of like a festival theme. Sounds unbelievable. And then obviously a serious blood match with Tommy. This is Tommy's first, I think, like fight where he's had this kind of needle, where he's had this back and forth with anyone. So I think we're going to see this different side. The Tommy, a more aggressive side, and more a fighter that's got a lot more venom and spit in his punches because he wants to prove something. I always say, like, my most pressurized fights are they weren't even the biggest fights. They were like Sean Cray and Jay Connie because they were Irish fighters and had to up them. They're the ones that I felt most pressure with because I was arguing with them and creating animosity. And he's doing the same now. And I said, Tommy, you're going to feel a completely different level of pressure going out to this fight. But I think that's something Tommy needs, and I think Tommy will thrive off of that. That's what I do. I thrive off that kind of pressure. And I think Tommy's the same, and I think it'll bring out the best in Tommy.
Definitely, it's going to make it obviously an interesting, a massive 7 days for obviously Irish boxing. It's leading straight from one to the other.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you were over in Bolton last week for Tyrone's fight, but obviously after so long being out of the ring, I think his last fight was the Walsh fight in February last year, and obviously having difficulties with medicals and stuff like that. It's a hard sort of time where you sort of everybody knows that Tyrone's abilities and everything else, but I guess that's boxing. Sometimes you get hit by a big punch, you just can't get back from it.
No one expected, not even prepared for it. Like, we went in my mindset. Well, I went in my mindset that Tyrone's winning regardless. Like, that's what you'd be thinking when people are fighting that kind of fighter. And so I wasn't prepared for when I seen Tyrone get caught. I didn't have my glasses on either, so I had bad eyesight if anyone knows. And see Tyrone, sometimes he gets muddled up and like does something like falls forward or something. So he got hit a big shot, obviously, and I thought it was just him falling over, like stumbling, but obviously not. He's obviously got it now, and he's going to see what he's going to do with boxing, while he's going to continue or what. But I think he stabs it, and I think it's a tough one for him because it's all right competing in 50-50 fights where you may make a beat, may win, but to compete in that kind of patience, it'll be tough. But it's hard to say because he did have 16, 17 months off, and then he had that brain scare, and then he had fights fall through and stuff, and something else. He's had a tough year and a half, and then you don't think it can get any worse, and then it does. So when his career just looked like it was about to start off again, he got beat. But that is boxing. I mean, anyone who puts on gloves are able to knock out the other one, and that's what happened. He got hurt by a big shot. He didn't recover from it, and he got stopped.
and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything stays well with him. And you never know. They say time can sort of be a healer. Everybody's sort of experienced it at some stage and sort of came again. So you never know, obviously, what the future holds. But obviously, we wish him well. And
Yeah.
obviously, not forgetting, obviously, the diva, obviously, in the camp, Gary Colley. Devastating. Like you sort of say, well, you're 6'1", making 140. Like Gary obviously makes it look like 135 at 6'2", 6'3" is easy. But like
Right.
if somebody was to say to you tomorrow, right, Tyrone, let's make 135 and fight, you'd be going, what part are you taking off my body?
I know. So, you know what's funny? Me, Sean McComb, and Gary Colley, all over 6 foot, all southpaws, and all skinny bastards that fight around the same weight. But we all have three different styles. Like Gary Colley's more a boxer. Sean McComb is more middle distance, and I love having wars. So it's a funny contrast in the gym. But just look at Albert's barn on Fridays. I have to wake up and I'm either sparring Sean McComb and sparring Gary Colley. That's a fucking depressing Friday for you. But they're unbelievable. Both of them unbelievable. We're talking about Gary anyway. He's frightening. He's dedicated. You know what? He deserves everything he's getting, and how good his performances are, because he does dedicate his life. That he puts it in the gym. He doesn't mess about. He does everything that he professionally. So he deserves the regular rewards.
Definitely does, and I say it just seems to be getting better and better, and sort of I know 2 years ago, and I feel that you obviously made your excuses to get in the ring. Obviously after Sean's fight, you've sort of been there, you've sort of seen it in the sort of background, the atmosphere, the occasion. Obviously, now that you're going to be part of it, it's probably like a dream come true sort of thing. To be fighting in your doorstep, and I'm not sure if you thought about ring walks yet, but everybody always has to be reminded of Scott Quigg's one. Who's going to who's going to do the doorstep sort of one and walk from the house. I know sort of Sean walked from the club sort of down to it, obviously not in the ring, but somebody's going to come up with something funny for the show because there's too many head cases on the show.
Well, I've been brainstorming a few promos. Obviously, I'm known from promotions, so hopefully I'll get a good one for this. But like it's unbelievable. Like the last one I went to, and it was an unreal venue. It was unreal night. The crowd were unbelievable. Everything was fucking great, and the only thing I was missing was McKenna on the show. I was gutted that it wasn't on it, but I enjoyed the night 100%. So to be on it this time, I was a bit gutted the last time there wasn't on it. This time I'm on it. Fight for a big fight and a good title. So there's not much more I can want. Buzzing for it. And as you say, it's just I literally used to go to the Falls Park with my mates on the weekend when I was growing up, and the catch and stuff. We used to go down to the Falls Park all the time, and now to be fighting in front of a serious crowd for a title against a tough Kazakhstani. It's our Kazakhstan fighter. It's a dream come true. It's a massive night and a massive platform for a person that's from that area to get on, and I'm excited.
Definitely, there's obviously 8K attendance. Obviously, we know obviously because of COVID and everything else, no boxers are sort of going to be getting any tickets. So I sort of wanted to put this out here with the interview because we know tomorrow morning at 10:30, every boxer that potentially is already on the card, or maybe potentially looking on the card, or getting messages going, my cat died last week, I need 2 tickets, sort of thing.
My phone has not stopped. I haven't been in it. Well, I'm just announced there now. My phone hasn't stopped and I haven't been announced yesterday. People looking 10, 20, 30 tickets. Apparently, you need to be very fast getting tickets because it's going to be sold out pretty quick. Ticketmaster predicting this to be a sellout and pretty fast. So it's 10 a.m. I believe on Friday.
Yeah.
They go live. So I would urge everyone that's watching this to get on the ball straight away and get as much tickets as you can.
Get the phones, tablets, laptops, grannies, grandas, everybody.
That's
everybody
it. Get everyone on. You can't miss the big event, first big event of the field.
I've goosebumps actually thinking of it. So I have
Yeah.
18 months without boxing. Like last show was the Ulster Hall, 1st of February last year. 2 shows on the same night, and you're sort of going,
That's right.
this is going to be a brilliant year for boxing in Belfast, and then COVID happens, and
And
you're
then
going, what's going on?
ruined.
No.
I know this is what a build to open it up again. What a fucking mill. I'm excited.
Definitely is. But listen, obviously, we'll thank you obviously for tuning in. Obviously, during your camp, you know, you just obviously had your fight announced, and obviously, I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yep. Thank you, Steve.
All right, Tyrone. Cheers. Take care.